Hello everybody, welcome to Just Upright. My name is Doc Jing Ruder. I'm a doctor of physical therapy and I'm your foreign educated physical therapist guide to United States application. I hope you guys are doing great. Okay, so what we're going to talk about, guys, is about the advantages and disadvantages of FCCPT. So we're gonna start off with what is FCCPT, why do you need FCCPT? Okay, and this will help you in making a decision whether you want to get FCCPT services or other credentialing services. Okay, please don't forget to subscribe if you have been watching my video. That will help us boost the channel so that we can reach as many foreign educated physical therapists around the world, and you will be in mission with me in helping our fellow foreign educated physical therapists to come here to the US, because you are all needed here. We need you so much. There's so many jobs opportunities here for you. So get your application going, and we'll be talking about the advantages and disadvantages today of the FCCPT coming right up. So we are in the on the website of FCCPT. Okay, so FCCPT stands for Foreign Credentialing Commission on Physical Therapy. Okay, it is a non-profit organization that evaluates the credentials, meaning your training, the courses, the subjects that you took from your physical therapy school or program that you attended. Okay, evaluates the credentials of foreign educated physical therapists and physical therapy assistants, and issues healthcare worker certificates to those who wish to immigrate and or work in the United States. Okay, so their purpose is to protect the public, ensuring foreign educated physical therapy professionals meet state and federal regulations. Okay, so what they do, okay, FCCPT provides educational credential reviews for physical therapists and physical therapist assistants using the coursework tool. Okay, so if you haven't watched it, I'll put the link here in the card section about the coursework tool. Okay, so coursework tool number 6 right now is the current coursework tool as of the recording of this video. Okay, so there is what we call CAPT, is Commission on Accreditation in Physical Therapy Education. Okay, so they grant accreditation status to qualified entry-level education programs for physical therapists and physical therapist assistants here in the US. Okay, so CAPT accredits educational programs in the US and selected programs around the world. In order to apply for licensure as PT or PTA in the US, jurisdictional authorities require that applicants are graduates of CAPT accredited PT or PTA education programs. Applicants who graduated from education programs that are not CAPT accredited must have their educational credentials reviewed by an approved credentialing agency such as FCCPT. So basically what it's saying is that since us foreign educated physical therapists is not under the CAPT, the governing body for physical therapy education here in the US or some parts of the world that is accredited by CAPT, we need credentialing to ensure that your courses, the subjects, and the trainings that you got or I got is comparable, high quality, comparable to US standard. Okay, so the purpose of the educational credentials review is to determine the equivalence of the education of foreign educated physical therapists compared to US graduates of accredited physical therapy education programs. Okay, so I'm not gonna dive into details about the FCCPT services. I have another video for that. But what we're going to discuss today is mainly the advantages and disadvantages of using FCCPT. Okay, so I made a table about the advantages and disadvantages of FCCPT, and I want to explain each one. So you have to listen because I will give you tips and important information on each of these advantages and disadvantages. So FCCPT is accepted in all 50 states, okay, including New York. New York has a separate service for under FCCPT, okay? So you can use FCCPT if you, for example, your license for one state and you want to transition to another state, and that state requires you to submit educational credential review for that state, okay? So the one reason FCCPT, okay, the disadvantage of it is more expensive than others. There's a significant difference, like as of the making of this video, almost $1,400, if I'm not mistaken, for like type 1 review service, okay? So that is very expensive compared to other credentialing agencies such as IERF, ICD, ICA, okay? So the reason why it is more expensive than others is because of this, okay? They keep your records for life. So whatever documents that you submitted previously, even years ago, they can, and then you're applying again. It's either you want to pursue your application to the US again, or you are already in the US and you're going to transition to another state. And if that state requires educational credential review, then you can use the previous documents that you submitted to FCCPT. It does not expire. You don't have to submit, you don't have to request from your school to submit again documents and pay your school again and pay the courier again to submit documents to FCCPT, okay? Unless, of course, they ask for more documents, okay? So those are advantages. So that's why they are expensive, okay? So far, many people have good reviews with FCCPT. They are efficient. They move within their time frame, okay? I just made a video about the time frame of services of FCCPT. So if you haven't watched that, watch the video here. That's one of the latest video before this video, okay? So for the most part, they are within their time frame on when they're gonna start to end your credentialing, okay? So the disadvantage, as I mentioned before, it's more expensive than others. They may not respond to emails, okay? I think it's either they're overwhelmed with all the application coming in, and or the manpower is low, okay? So less workers having to deal with many applications. That's why with my latest video, I discussed that it used to be FCCPT used to process it within 12 weeks. But as of right now, currently, as of the making of this video, it's between 16 to 18 weeks, okay? So additional 4 to 6 weeks compared to previous time frame, okay? So you only have 1 year to complete all the requirements of FCCPT, okay? You only have 1 year. So if 1 year lapse, or 1 year ends from the time you pay FCCPT, you started your application, and you did not complete all the requirements that they're asking you to submit, then you have to pay them again, okay? For reactivation of your previous file, okay? So, and they have many services that you have additional payment. So, for example, you did educational credential review and you found out that you have deficiencies, okay? And you completed those deficiencies. Then you can apply again, but you have to pay again for a different service. For example, your deficiencies are all completed because they told you these are your deficient subjects. You went to school, online or in person, to complete all those deficient subjects, and then you want the school or schools to submit those curriculum course description to FCCPT, then you have to pay FCCPT again to do whatever service you need, like type 1 review for immigration, okay? Or for example, you need re-evaluation, okay, from because you already applied for type 1 review before, and then that's when you discovered that you have deficient subjects, okay? So you will pay for re-evaluation by that time, okay? Has a separate service for New York. So I want to reiterate this because there are many questions about this. So FCCPT, there's FCCPT New York, okay? So when you do FCCPT New York, that is just for credentialing for the state of New York. Meaning, if you're going to go, for example, from New York to Illinois, you have to do another credentialing for Illinois because you cannot use the FCCPT New York because it is only for New York. So you have to pay again for Illinois or other state, wherever you may be. Okay, so the problem is when you're going to apply to New York, so you have FCCPT New York, but you also need healthcare worker certificate because you need a working or immigrant visa. So if you get their service FCCPT New York plus type 1 review for immigration, it's kind of double in, you know, credentialing, because type 1 review for immigration has both credentialing and healthcare worker certificate. But that credentialing part will not apply to New York because, again, New York has a separate New York credential evaluation, okay, or credential verification. So it's like a double expense if you're going to use FCCPT, okay? Okay, so personally, what I did before, like more than a decade ago, is that I did my FCCPT New York, okay, credentialing, and then I got my healthcare worker certificate from CGFNS, the visa screen certificate, okay? It's less expensive that way, and as of the recording of this video, CGFNS requires 170 semester units, while the type 1 review for immigration requires 210 semester units. So if your problem is about the semester units, then getting your healthcare worker certificate from CGFNS will be cheaper, and it will require lesser requirement for semester units, okay? But of course, the disadvantage of using CGFNS for visa screen is that you have to send another set of documents from the school or schools where you took your bachelor, master's, or TDPT, okay, and submit all those documents, another set of documents, to a different office, the CGFNS, okay? But in general, it is cheaper that way. So that is your option if you're going to apply to New York. So for other states other than New York, okay, and you do not have a working or immigrant visa, okay, FCCPT Type 1 review for immigration is what you need. But again, okay, go to the state, look at what the other credentialing agencies they are accepting. So, some states accept only FCCPT, like Illinois, but other states are open to, they accept IERF, ICD, or ICA. So you just have to verify to the individual state what do they accept. So you can use, if there is, for example, they accept IERF, you can use IERF for credentialing so that you can take the npte. But you can also use CGFNS for healthcare worker certificate so that your employer can file you with a working or immigrant visa, because credentialing and healthcare worker certificate, they are two distinct documents and they have different purpose, okay? So credentialing is mainly for you to be able to take NPTE. The healthcare worker certificate from Type 1 review for immigration or the visa screen certificate from CGFNS. That is more for immigration purposes. Okay, so I hope guys that is helpful. If I miss any advantage, disadvantage on using FCCPT, just let me know. Share your comments, your ideas down below, helpful tips. Also, do not forget to subscribe, because again, it will help me boost the channel so we can reach, you and I will be in the same mission to help our fellow foreign educated physical therapists in this overwhelming process of United States application, because you are badly needed here. And I wish you all the best with your journey with your US application. Please like, share, and subscribe this video, and I wish you all the best. Until the next video, stay blessed.